All right, you guys, we're going to continue our discussion of solving oblique triangles using the law of sines. Okay, so let's look at this example. It says solve the triangle ABC given A equals 43.5 degrees, little a equals 10.7 inches, and little c equals 7.2 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a triangle. Oops, let's change our color. Let's not use red. All right, remember that your triangle doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a sketch so that we know what's going on. All right, so we have A, B, and C. All right, remember that your sides are across from the angles that they face. All right, so let's see. A is 43.5 degrees, and little a is 10.7 inches, and little c is 7.2 inches. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make my table because that helps me stay on track on what I already have and what I need to find. All right, so 43.5, 10.7, and 7.2. Okay, now that I have everything drawn out, I need to figure out what case I'm in. Okay, so if I look at this triangle, okay, I have an angle and I have two sides. Okay, now the angle that I'm given, it does not fall in between the two sides. So what it means to fall in between, if you were moving around the triangle, then I could say side, angle, side. But I don't have this angle. I have 43.5. So this is a side, side angle, or we can say this ASS. Okay. Now remember, anytime you fall in this case where you have an ASS, okay, that is the ambiguous case. Okay. So that lets me know at this point, I'm going to have to check to see if I'm going to have 0, 1, or 2 triangles. Okay. So I already know that. So I need to kind of like make a note to myself that, hey, this is the ambiguous case. All right. So let's continue on. All right, so we also know that we can use the law of sines on this problem because we've been given a combination or a combo. So I have angle A and I also have side A. So that's another hint that lets me know, hey, you're going to be able to use the law of sines on this problem. Okay, so let's look to see what's probably the next thing we should find. So since we already have side C, let's see if we can go ahead and find angle C. Okay. All right, so if we're looking for angle C, we need the capital letters to be in the numerator because we want our unknowns to be in the numerator. So I already have the A, so I'm going to say sine of A over little a equals sine of C over little c. I'm going to plug in what I have. So I'm going to have sine of 43.5 over 10.7 equals sine of C over 7.2. I'm going to cross multiply. And then I need sine C to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by 10.7. So sine C equals 7.2 sine 43.5 divided by 10.7. Yeah. All right, so I'm solving for C, okay? So the only way to get C out of that trig function is to use the inverse. So C equals sine inverse of this number, 7.2 sine 43.5 divided by 10.7. Okay, so I'm going to punch it in the calculator. Okay, so when I do that, all right, I get this answer. Okay, so when I'm looking at that answer, what that tells me, okay, that is a decimal that is less than 1. Okay, so anytime you fall in the ambiguous case, you're going to have 3 answers. Either your sign, either your value, okay, is going to be greater than 1. The value is going to be equal to 1, or your value is going to be less than 1, okay? So, and when I mean value, let me write it like this. Sine of your angle, okay? Okay, so when we've done this value, we get this decimal, okay? And this decimal, 0.46, is less than 1, okay? So if your value is less than 1, what that means is that you're going to have one triangle, okay? You could have two, okay? If your value is greater than 1, okay, you have no triangle. And if your value equals 1, you actually have one triangle, and it's a right triangle, okay? So by our value of our theta being less than 1, we automatically have one triangle, okay? So since we have 1, I can go ahead and do the inverse of that value, okay? So I just recalled that value on my calculator and found how big my angle is. So it's 27.6. I'm going to round, okay? So when I come here, when I do the inverse, C equals 27.6 degrees, okay? So I can go ahead and put that up here. Oops. Put that back. Okay. 27.6. Okay. Now, because I could have two triangles, I need to check. Okay. Now, the way that you check to see if you have two triangles is at the angle that you just found. Okay. You need to find the supplement of it. Okay. So remember, supplementary angles sum to 180. Okay. Okay, so to do that, we're going to do 180 minus 27.6. Okay, when we do that, all right, take a moment and find out what that is for me. So take 180 minus 27.6. Okay, when you do that, you should get 152.4. Okay, so what that tells me is that the supplement is 152.4 degrees. Now, in order for there to be a second triangle, in order for there to be one that exists, this 152.4 degree angle has to sum with the angle that was originally in our problem. So the angle that was originally there was this 43.5 degrees. So I need to add that together. So add. Okay, so we would have 152.4 plus 43.5 degrees. When I add that together, I get 195.9. Okay, so when you add the supplement to your original angle, if another triangle exists, then the supplement that you found plus the original angle will be less than 180 degrees. The reason why it has to be less than 180 is because all three angles in your triangle have to sum to that. So when I added my supplement to my original angle, I got 195.9. This is greater than 180 degrees, which means that this is not possible because all three angles in a triangle have to sum to 180. And I just found that these two by themselves sum to more than 180. So that tells me there's no second triangle. Okay, so I don't have to worry about finding another one. So I can continue on the way I was normally going about my problem. Okay, so I found big C. Now the easiest thing to find next is probably big B, because we know that all angles in a triangle sum to 180. So if I'm looking for angle B, I can say 180 minus 43.5 minus 27.6, and that's going to give me 108.9. Okay, so that's the measurement of my second angle. 108.9 degrees. Okay. And the last thing I need to find is side B. Okay. So in order to find side B, I'm going to use the law of sines. Remember, you can't use Pythagorean theorem because we don't have a right triangle. All right. So I'm looking for little b. And I'm going to do the most with what they gave me. So because I'm looking for a side, my lowercase letters are going to be in the numerator, and I'm going to use the a combination that I was given to find it. So I'm going to say little a over sine a equals little b over sine b. I'm going to fill in what I have. So 10.7 over the sine of 43.5 equals little b over the sine of 108.9. I'm going to cross multiply. 10.7 sine 108.9 equals b sine 43.5. I'm going to divide by sine of 43.5. Okay, so that tells me that little b will be equal to this calculation. So little b is going to equal 10.7 times the sine of 108.9 divided by the sine of 43.5. So when I plug that into the calculator, I get this, 14.7. Okay, and that's going to be inches because that's what our sides are measured in. So 14.7 will be side B. Okay, and since my chart is completely filled in, these are going to be my answers. I found all three angles and all three sides. So we're complete. Awesome.